Hey, so I'm gonna go over a few different altercations that I have been involved with. Guys, I'm in a bit of an ornery mood right now. So, I'm gonna try to go in timeline order. So, the first official fight that wasn't, you know, um, sparring, because that's Taekwondo and that's sparring, despite how that went, and that's a prior official video of mine. I guess I need to clarify that. The first fight that I can remember would be, well, there were a few when I was a child. So my biological parents didn't care in certain regards. So when, like, Mike went to New York, those who would possibly remember him, his nickname was China Mike. In New York City, in the 5 boroughs. He was known as China Mike. Also in, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Camden especially, Elizabethtown, and Hoboken and Red Bank. That was, granted, like, he had just his name, but he was known by certain individuals as China Mike. I'm his daughter. Biologically, yes. I was raised by him. So when he would go do whatever he was doing, as far as I knew at the time, he was doing jewelry business. Whatchamacallit, I simply just was told, go outside. Go play. And so there were a few situations, those who remember those areas in the mid to late 1980s and up to 1997 time frame of those areas, to say, go walk around, no big deal. Can understand I had been involved in a few altercations. I don't necessarily remember all of them because there were a few. Usually, though, and realistically, I use the term altercations there because it wasn't necessarily a fight. It was, for those who know that area, it was more along the lines of, can you hang? Can you handle being out here? Oh, okay, you can handle being out here. Okay, you can handle that. Okay, you cool. It's cool. All right then. And I didn't really get into many altercations after probably, I think the last one that was like a big one was probably 1989. That was probably the last, like, big altercation where I just was, it was accepted. It was understood that, when, and then, later, that was also about the time that people then knew that who they knew as China Mike, hi. And then all of a sudden, not only was it, oh, that makes so much sense right now. Like, all those pieces just clicked together instantly. If we knew that beforehand, we're sorry. I was like, I'm not going to use his name. Not that I knew that's what it was and what it meant at that time. But it was just one. It is what it is. No big deal. And so it was just one. Oh, it like my daughter uses my name and my son uses my. No, not because I'm embarrassed, but because I didn't like Mike is a common name. So why would I think it was a big deal? And then oh my God, okay. And, as far down south in New Jersey as the Pine Barrens. So, for more specifics. Anyway, so the first like major altercation, fight, whatever, that I can remember, like in a bigger, and I don't mean like defending people in like Asher Holmes Elementary School. Although there was this one time someone was really mean to Mr. Art, the art teacher, and I was really, really aggravated at that guy being mean to Mr. Art. So we met on the playground. We had a talk. And he didn't make fun of Mr. Art anymore. I'll leave it at that. It didn't matter to me. He was mean to Mr. Art. I didn't he gave his excuses and none of them were valid. And so we met on the playground. I told him at recess, we're going to meet and we're going to talk. And then we talked, and he was never mean to Mr. Art again. I didn't tell Mr. Art about that. But there was a class a few weeks later where Mr. Art was like, oh, I'm not gonna, you're actually being good in class. And I looked over at the guy, and he looks over at me, and he's just like, Mr. Art, I'm not gonna be mean to you anymore. I have my reasons. I'm not gonna be mean to you anymore. And Mr. Art was like, well, that's fabulous. Awesome. So let's learn about art today. And I was just like, yeah. So, then, and I'm not talking about the different. I mean, I was the only female who got the Presidential Fitness Award, the blue one. First time. Mr. A, who was like a bodybuilder, first time I went in his class, which was in kindergarten, I was like, I have a dog nicknamed A, but you should very well, although I call him the newest Mr. A. But that was because I could do pull-ups when they started that. And so that was the only way a female was going to get the blue Presidential Fitness Award, which is the top one. So let's see. So the first was her name was Lauren, Fucko. And everyone at the church up until about third grade called me Susie, and I despised it. I was like, no, Susan. My name is Susan. Well, I don't care. Don't. So, in when I was dealing with the issues with Rob Castle, the boy from Taekwondo, which prior, um, right before the St. John Vianney High School bus situation, Lauren saw me walk into the youth group area, which was on the other side of the parking lot from Old Scots Hall, the kind of creamish white building. And it was elongated ranch style look. And walk in. I was going to go play pool with Nick, Evan, and Greg. And Lauren was sitting with Amy and Mandy. And a few, and Christy Sabozic, and a few others. And Lauren, hold on, I got something funny. And like I heard that, and I was like, I just don't feel like dealing with this anymore. And Lauren sits up off the couch and she goes, "Hey, Susie." What'd you say? And the males, there were a few others that were behind, like where the pool table was with they came and just kind of peeked at it. We're not stepping on the other side of this partition. No. We've seen what happens when she gets mad, because they had. And Lauren's sitting on the couch. She gets to the edge of the couch and she's like, "Yeah, I called you Susie. Stop calling me Susie. Grow up." And she gets all uppity. She actually stood up at that point. She was like, "I'm going to call you Susie. My name is not Susie. My name is Susan. Not difficult. I know that, you're you. But if you just, be somewhat respectful, maybe you'll learn something." I go to turn back around to go play pool, and Lauren goes and pushes me on the shoulder. "What do you want?" And she's like, we were in ninth grade at that time. And I'm just like, why don't you grow up? Do you have nothing better to do? Shut the fuck up. And she goes, "Oh, we're in church ground. Really? Really? You're going to try to play that card after you're starting stuff with me? Really? Please, no." Go to walk back, just pushes me on the shoulder again. What? All right, you fake blonde ugly should have a bag over your face because you're so hideous that nobody would want to actually look at you and I just go off. And she just, "You best shut your mouth because," and on and on and on and on. And I hear Greg Morris fall and have to catch himself on the pool table from laughing so hard. And I'm just, bop, 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 bop. "My name is Susan." Go to walk away. Just, stop. Just stop being a whiny little bitch. And so then, she pushes me again on the shoulder. Technically 3 times. From Penelope. What does that have to do with anything? "I heard you taking Taekwondo with my friend Ram. Oh, you're friends with that? That makes so much sense right now." Go to walk off. Again, she pushes me on the shoulder. What? And so she continues with the Susie thing, and I was like, all right, fucko. She goes, you can't say that. No. She's like, you know my last name is Fuco. Fuco. And I'm like, no. It's spelled fuck up. So fuck off. Leave me alone. Stop fucking with me. Otherwise, like, we're going to throw down. And don't touch me again. So being calm. Well, then she used both hands to push me, and I bounced, like my hands went to the partition, and I just turned around and pop! She went flying from where the area of the partition was that I was at to the couch. And I was like, so, comprehend what I mean when I said don't call me anything but my name? Alright. Walk over, pool table, go play. That was technically just an altercation. So, you know, and she was crying the whole time. Oh, maybe I made you prettier. I don't know, maybe me breaking your nose will make your face prettier. And at that point, Nick, who's Evan's brother, is looking out the window like, oh my gosh, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Because he didn't want to, because he had been dealing with her too, so then there was that. But it was just like, and Evan's just like, ooh, and Greg was just like, hey, come here, Susan. And I'm like, what's up, Greg? And he's like, so then there was the time in St. John Vianney High School. I think I was a freshman at that time too. Because it was before the thing with Tony Ann Farinella and the 3 other females and Nick Palazzolo on the bus at one time. And this guy named Eric comes out to where the track team and I are. So I was doing my stretches with the male side of the track team because, well, the females were intermingled in between on one side, but then there was like the group of females, which Tony Ann Farinella was also on the female track team. But anyway, so doing the stuff, and Eric comes up to where I'm at, and I'm in the middle of the group of the males. We're all talking. I was like, yeah, whatever the stretches were. And Eric comes up and he's like, so. I'm like, yeah. He was a white boy with like, and I say white because like his skin was the color white. Not being racist, his skin was the color white. And he had like this platinum blonde hair, which made him whiter. And like, you have no color pigmentation in your skin whatsoever. And so he's this skinny little boy, and he goes, hey, Susan. What? You know, like, I'm hanging out with the guys. We were having fun talking about a bunch of different stuff, getting ready to go do the warm-up run before going to the different specialties, which I was able to be in different areas. I was able to do shot put because depending on who we were going up against, I could go in discus. I did high jump every time. I would randomly be put into long jump. Again, depending on the team, they're just like, yeah, you need to be here. Okay, cool. And then the 100 meter dash, the 110 meter hurdles, the 200 meter dash, the 210 hurdles, the 400 meter dash, the 400 meter hurdles, and the 400 meter relay, as well as the 400 meter hurdles. That's where and so They didn't allow females to do the javelin. That would have been cool. Or the pole vault at that time. I really wanted to do the pole vault. But they weren't allowing this at the time. So anyway, sitting there, and I was like, so we're not dating anymore. And I'm like, when were we? Like you said that you wanted to be my boyfriend, but when did we ever go on a date? Oh, that's right, never. Okay, so, and the guys around me, they're all, Susan. And it's just Susan being Susan. And then Eric's like, look, this is my new friend Dana. And, she's my girlfriend. What you got to say about that? And I'm like, I don't care. Have fun. Whatever. And so go back to stretch. And he goes, you need to pay attention to what I just said. I'm just like, I just did, and I responded to you. Like, get out of my face. And he's like, oh, yeah? And mind you, I'm on the ground, doing the and he goes to my face. Every male on that track team, whether they were talking with the females on the other side, or specifically the ones right around me, all pile on top of me. And they were just, no, we got a track meet, like we got competition tomorrow. No. And I just stand up, and it got to the point where even two of the coaches are like holding on to my waist as like the rest of the track, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, and I'm running my mouth, and again, he slaps my face, and I'm like, that's it. And like, then when all of the track team kind of fell back, he saw that and he turned around and ran. I think Eric was actually at one point in time on the track team. Anyway, he runs from the field in front of the track area, and I'm, a few guys, they're still like holding on my legs. I'm like, no, you saw him slap me not once but twice. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, but we know like what you'll do. And it's like, I have the right to. And they're like, yes, but please, like, we, like, And by the time I got because some of the ones that were thrown off, they come back and they're like, big wrestling match, and just, and by that time that they were all off me, they were just like, all right. He was almost at the door to go near the gym to enter St. John Vianney High School, and I took off. And before he got out of the area, chased him essentially to the male lockers in the gym, and I had talk with him with my fists, and put him in one of those lockers, shut the locker, walk back out, and just get back to the track team, and the males are all like kind of huddled up, even though it wasn't football, but they were kind of all huddled up, and then they do, she's back, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, you're not hurt? Nope. Ready to go for our warm-up run? And they're just like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll go on our warm-up run. Yeah. Huh. And that was like the end of that. And so that was a different one. And then there was later on the following year the issues with Tony Ann Farinell and Nick Palazzolo, and then the three other females on the bus in close proximity. I mean, a school bus isn't that big. So, there's that one. And then, so I get to, my biological parents wanted to move to Crystal Lake, Illinois instead of Chicago. I would have fit in Chicago. I would have camoed. Like, we would have had, like, it would be kind of like certain areas of New Jersey, New York, and Philadelphia, but then it would have been cool. It would have been like, all right, no problems. But instead, my biological parents chose Crystal Lake. And no offense, again, it's just my personality. And so my biological mother's like, go join the cheerleading squad. That'll get you to have female friends. At this point in time, I can say, I don't think it takes a head injury to figure out that was not going to work. Back then, it was just, no, that sounds like a dumb idea. That sounds dumb. Like, I don't know why you would think that that would be a good idea. You sound stupid. And then I dealt with things. And so, one day, after I somehow made the cheerleading squad, so those who went to Crystal Lake High School know about the common area, if that's still there, with the pit. And it has 3 stairs. And then, like, the 4th is the kind of, like, in-ground pool, but not. And so I'm standing on the top part of the stair rise or whatever, and talking with some of the cheerleaders. And, ones I really don't want to speak with at the time. Anyway, I hear Nick Robinson, the one on the football team, say the N-word. And I look at him, I go, what'd you say? What'd you call me? What'd you say? And Joy, his girlfriend on the cheerleading squad, she goes, Susan, calm down. Shut your face. Don't make me. And look, don't you, and he looks, Nick Robinson looks at Joy Hoover and he goes, control your cheerleader. You ain't control. Don't even try, because I'll break your face. Like I'm about to break his. So don't. I hit hard. I don't hit soft. Don't think that because you're a cheerleader that I won't handle you. And I look back at Nick Robinson and I'm like, what'd you say? What'd you call me? How dare you use that word? I don't know who you think you're talking to. And he looks at me and goes, Susan, you're stupid. And I'm like, what? You really want to keep going there with that? You really want to continue on with that word and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And he's like, I didn't call you the N-word. And I'm like, stop using that word, bitch. And he goes, points to the guy that's walking behind me. And I look and I'm like, why you gotta say, what is that at? And he goes, I was calling him, and he said it again, and I just, boom, from the flat part where AJ was walking, I just do a flying downward punch. And then, Nick Robinson fell to the floor, and I'm just beating him. And his girlfriend, Joy Hoover, is on the sideline going, stop. And she actually went to touch my shoulder. I went, bah! And then just went back to handling. And she was like, she hit me in my chest. It's like, yeah, I'll do more than that next time. And just continue going at it. I know Kenny was so mad when I told him about it. Because he wasn't able to see it. But he saw the repercussions of it, which was, he saw Have football practice. Hey, what's wrong with your face? What happened? Although Kenny didn't laugh like that, but the equivalent of I know her. Ooh, I need not to make her mad. Anyway, so in the back in the pit, I'm just da, and you know, because it was high school, fight, 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 fight. And I'm just like, oh, you're breaking up my concentration. Like, I know I'm like, it's not really a fight, but you know, okay, you know, like, you know, stop swinging. Like the second you stop swinging at me, I'll stop swinging at you. Like I'm a fair fighter once you stop swinging, because he's like. He had the nerve to use the N-word. I don't care if he was aiming it at me or at AJ or anybody. It didn't matter. It's just one of those, I don't care. Where I come from, you don't use that word at all, whatsoever. You use that word, this is nothing compared to what will happen to you. But then he's like, stop attempting to fight me. Because that's what he was doing. It's like, it's like, yeah, stop doing that. Like, what is wrong with you? If you would stop trying to hit me, I would stop hitting you. And then, you know, the teacher came out and they were like, all right, break it up, break it up. And I'm like, he would stop hitting me and stop hitting him. Like, tell him to stop. And so then, like, the teacher picked up Nick, you know, Robinson, and he's like, come on. And I was like, yeah, go clean out the blood. Which is a quick side note later on. At McDonald's, like either that weekend or a couple weeks later, my biological family and I were at McDonald's, finished making our order, and all of a sudden I'm picked up from behind and I'm being spun around and I'm just, I don't know what's going on right now. This is a little weird. Huh, I don't feel threatened. So that's a good thing. But I don't understand why I'm spinning around and around. So, okay, this is new. What's going on? And Mike, you know, picks up, you know, apparently AJ, and then picks me up, and he's like, what is going on here? And puts both of us down, and I'm like, oh, hey AJ, what's going on? And Mike goes, you know this guy? And I'm like, yeah. And then AJ explained what happened, because apparently he was black, or probably still is. It's probably like a lifetime thing. But anyway, so, you know, African American, I prefer that term. Not that you really need to decipher when it comes to like American, but like whatever. Anyway, so yeah, because I mean, I know that this sounds stupid, but pre-headedry, post-headedry, I just don't see, like, when I see colors, like, I don't, I've seen white people. I've seen a whole bunch of white people where they blend into a white picket fence. I have never seen a black person to this day. This is the color black. I have not seen somebody this color, except if they were dead. And that's a whole other ball of wax, and that has to do with the East Coast, and I know there are some people who understand what I mean on that. So, that being said, and I don't know if they were African or not, to be realistic on that, but anyway, So anyway, AJ explains that like he and two of his cousins, or him, his sister, and one of their cousins, or something like that, were the only like black kids in school. And like apparently a bunch of people like Nick Robinson, like Joy Hoover, but unlike Kenny and a bunch of the people that I hung out with, at least around me, they didn't. Um, didn't use the N word, the ones that I hung out with, again, at least in front of me. And they might not want to, they might not have wanted to have happen to them what happened to Nick Robinson, which would probably be a thing. But so, but at that school, they also could tell I was half Chinese. Like it was that white of a school. I mean, my makeup right now, yeah, okay, I literally drew the lines, but I mean, without makeup on, I don't, maybe my cheekbones ish, and that's like it. Like, I didn't believe that I was actually half Chinese until I got this tattoo done because it had to be done 3 different times to get the white in there. And I was like, okay, maybe I am half Chinese. Maybe I actually have yellow and olive in my skin. Okay, fine. I accept that I am half Chinese now. Before that day of the third tattoo, it's one tattoo. It's just one. It's just one tattoo. It took 3 times to get it that white. And it's like, okay, I can accept the fact that I'm half Chinese. Yes, I can see where the yellow is as far as, and I'm not being racist, that's just reality. And it's just one of those, okay, I really just thought that like, same oven, different baker when it came to the way my biological mother. Anyway, so, but okay, fine, okay. I'm half Chinese. I can accept that now. Granted, that was like 2011. It took that long, and I was born in 1982. But whatever. It took that long. But in Crystal Lake, Illinois, they could tell I was half Chinese. They knew that I was Asian. There was only one other or two other. No, there were a total of 2 or 3 other people at the school that were Asian, but they were full-blooded, where I was a half-breed. I was a mutt. I'm still a mutt because I'm half Chinese and half everything else that crawls underneath the fence. So, is what it is. But they could tell. And it was like, yeah, whatever. So AJ had explained that. And then his parents came over and they were like, hey, what's going on? Like looking at Mike, and AJ was like, yeah, this is the one who defended me. And they were like, you? Because like AJ was like up here and I'm, my height. And they're just like, well, let me shake the hand of the father that made that. Cause thanks. Cause, they had been dealing with that in Crystal Lake South. Like anybody that wasn't like so white that they could blend into like the background of a white picket fence, you were known. Like like that was it. And it was just one of those, it never clicked until like, and so, but, after that, I had not gotten into a physical altercation. I did everything I could not to, because I kind of figured it would be safer. Don't get me wrong, there have been times I've wanted to. A lot of times. Like right now, these neighbors are annoying. But, like for example, when in Tacoma, the people who were living in the apartment N as in November 208, and I was in N as in November 108, they're like stomping around, and I had to be told by the Jehovah's Witnesses sisters that it wasn't the building settling, it was literally the people who were in the apartment in N as in November 208 who were making all those noises. as well as the elders from Angel Moroni's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, founded by Reverend Joseph Smith. Those elders had to tell me that it wasn't the building settling. It was those people stomping around and slamming their cabinets and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I just thought, the building was built in like the 60s or 70s. So, it's natural for certain noises, like in the joints, to be made. So, I just thought it was a building. And then because certain things just wouldn't stop, because like the boy met me out, biologically a man, but I had gone to temple services or church service, because I had gone to Temple Beth El, Temple Beth Hot Philo. Hot Philo's in Olympia, Bethel is in Tacoma. And then I'd also gone to the Jehovah Witnesses Church off of Holly, as well as going to Angel Moroni's Church out of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, founded by Reverend Joseph Smith. I understand now why they call themselves the Mormons. That makes so much, that's like a tongue twister, like, not being rude, but it makes sense. And so, I just realized they're on the same Pearl Street as where McClendon's. I'd go get my Medal of Honor Art Project stuff taken care of. Like, it was literally, like, not even a mile down the road. Just realized that, it's a little late now, since, like, I started my Medal of Honor Art Project back in 2014, and this is 2020, but, I just realized that. So, okay, that's cool. I probably passed by the church a whole bunch of times and was just like, Anyway, so the boy who came out of the bushes at nighttime, as I'm coming back, I think it was from, it would have either been the Jehovah Witnesses Church or, no, I think it was probably the Jehovah Witnesses Church. I don't think I went to, no, it could have been class with Cantor Fine from Temple Beth. But nonetheless, it was nighttime. And the boy came out of the bushes at nighttime, and he's just like, just all this whatever. And like, he did this like, and I'm like, what, do you have something in your eye? Like, like, why are you doing this? And he's like smiling, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my female roommate. And it's like, whatever. And he just keeps running his mouth, and I'm just like, I don't like you. I don't trust you. And like all the hairs are standing on the back of my head, like just like, And so like he, we can, I'm like, no. I've got my purse, like, and stuff like that. And what he didn't know was, if you've seen my dancing videos, you can see what I can do with my keys. And I had my finger on the key ring if I just needed to flip it out. And it's like, this is nighttime, and you're coming out of the bushes. And you've apparently been making noises, and your female roommate. I don't care. So I go back down to my apartment. Well, then a couple months go by. I actually had to go to the emergency room because of the amount of pain I was in. I deal with headaches and migraines on a daily basis. Well, the migraines are on a semi-daily basis to semi-bi-daily basis. It depends. But as far as like if I take a nap in the middle of the daytime when it's daylight out, that's a migraine. And like it's like beyond a 10. And so, so I actually had to go in because the pain from my headaches was subdued by the amount of pain I was in physically because of the additional stress of everything that was going on. And so, the doctors at JBLM, they gave me a topical cream, helped with my backs and at my back, shoulders and stuff like that. And then at some point, the boy and the girl, biologically adults, but boy and girl, were slamming their cabinets and stomping around, and then they were yelling on top of which I go up the stairs and I bang on the door. And I hear the boy and girl, shh, 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 pico, pico, pico. It's like, really? Not ninjas. Not ninjas. Can you, like, stop? So then I go downstairs, and then they start it up again, and I go back up the stairs, and I knock on the door because I knew this time they were going to answer it. So I leaned on the back, the banister, and I'm like, I will give you plenty of room, because if I have to, I will. I already know myself. I haven't been in a physical altercation since before my head injury, but if I have to, I look around my surroundings like, I got this. And so I'm just like, because if I was nervous, I would have been standing up and been like, but not really, because that's not even still not really. But, like I have certain, I don't know what my tells would be, but it wouldn't be like white. And so, I'm just leaning back. I'm just like, could you not be annoying? Could you not do the high pitch electronic noises against the wall and your floor? Could you not slam your cabinet doors? Could you not stomp your feet? And the boy who had, right here, he had one of those like pretend motorcycle jackets. It was a jean jacket. He had like so there's a little cell phone, but his was in the center, and he has it like where the pocket is like right here, and so the camera part, which was actually right here, was sticking out, and he's just like, what? Apartment, but he's staying on his side of the line, and I'm just like, yeah, do you mind not doing that? Could you, you're across the breezeway, his dog is getting more anxious, I've had to deal with certain things, and if that black and white dog that was in N as in November 207 has calmed down since N as in November 208 has left, that proves a point on what that guy was doing with his male boy thing, whatever. And so the whole time I was just leaning back. I was like, I haven't gotten into a fight, altercation so long, and I am aggravated about what occurred to my Medal of Honor art project. So, could you stop? That'd be great. Really appreciate that. No, you're going to continue being a little temper tantrum titty baby and whining and stuff like that, as they did. They continued until I was able to get out of that apartment complex, because they literally made my health conditions worse, because they continued similarly to way those neighbors over there and those neighbors over there go. Like in this apartment, there have been times where I've been sitting on the stool or I've been standing and there's been a vibration feeling, and I can hear like as if somebody's holding a vibrator to the ceiling as I'm standing there, or like only high-pitched noises will come from certain areas that there's no reason where they would come from. And it's just like, little boy who I saw when I was coming up the stairs after I had gone to the front office to go in the, use my computer for the Wi-Fi, and he saw me come up the stairs and he ran to his apartment. It was like, all right, whatever. So I have this song in my head right now. It's Cardi B's Bodak Yellow on that. And on that note, pun intended, I'm going to end this particular... Oh, wait, no. There was one time I almost got into a physical altercation. And it was after who I was engaged to at the time. He had shown up with a finger missing because supposedly somebody saw a bumblebee, and that's why they dropped the tank shell. I was like, yeah, why are we walking this way? Because originally we were walking one way. It was like, hey, let's go this way. I was like, why? That seems a little weird. Why do you... What's over there? It's over there. And he was like, no, this way. Why? Sean, why are you... Why? What's over there? Like, and he's just like, no. You don't need to go that way. And I'm like, why not? Why don't I need to go that way? You don't do that normally. You're kind of reminding me of when we were at coffee one day, and then there were the guys who were sitting on the trunk of your car, and I was like, hey. That's what you're reminding. I didn't say that out loud. It was in my head. Like, I went, hey, no, this way, come here. So what are you doing? What are you doing? No, let's go this way. Why? It's over there. And, we get a little further away, and he goes, I just didn't want you to get mad. And I'm like, you've got my interest, so what happened? What was up with that group of soldiers? He was just like, well, one of those guys was one of the guys who had accidentally dropped the, the tank shell. Well, let's go. And Sean was like, no. Snuggled. It's like, I didn't do it. I didn't, but I was ready. Anyway, you guys like and subscribe and share.